We're glad to see so many of you here tonight to share your concerns as we listen and take notes about the thoughts you have. Know that we have continued to make some adjustments to the maps that we currently have, and we will continue to do that based on the feedback we have tonight, and we will be sharing these with all of you publicly. Once again, thank you for being with us here this evening. If you have an odd number, please come to this side, right there with Dr. Lee Wright. If you have an even number, please come to this side, right here with Dr. George Flores. We will begin with number 1, as number 1 is almost complete. If number 2, knowing your numbers, please come on down and we can keep the progression going. Number 1.
Hello everybody, my name is Darshi Chokshi and I live in Lakeside North Point and Enclave Subdivision. I want to start out with profusely thanking every one of you at the stage right now and the entire school board and everybody at every school, including principals and teachers, for making Tomball School District the destination excellence. I know when our kids start from K and go through 12, those 13 years when they come out, they will be ready to tackle the real world problems, the opportunities in front of them. And there is no other district that we would rather be in. I want to also emphasize on why we are here today, why I'm speaking here, is because our subdivision has no capacity issue from elementary till we hit junior high. We recognize that the issue starts when we hit the high school level. But when it's rezoned, there will be capacity, and with the minimum number of students population that comes from our neighborhood going to Tomball Memorial, we will not have that issue and we should be kept zoned as we are. I also want to stress on one thing, that our neighborhood has been mostly positive, fact-based, and very respectful of the school board and the entire cabinet and everybody involved.
Thank you so much, sir. Number 2. If number 3 will make your way over to, thank you, number 2. Yes, ma'am, get a little closer and let's make sure. We can hear you, but not as well as we would like to.
Okay, my name's Vicki.
Very good.
And I'm in Creekview and Fairway Farms neighborhood. Studies have shown that children who move to schools frequently are 35% more likely to fail a grade, 77% more likely to have behavioral issues than those who don't. I understand moving once is tough enough, but if you choose elementary plan 2 or 3, the kids in Creekside will have changed schools 3 times by the time they reach 5th grade. That's 3 different schools before they are 10 years old. Creekview, Timber Creek, and Creekside Forest are not at risk of being at capacity through 2030, so on any of the plans. So rezoning, again, is unnecessary. I also encourage you to drive down Huff Smith Road during the morning and afternoon hours. You'll find that it currently can't handle the traffic as it is, and backs up half a mile in both directions of the intersection of Huff Smith and Stewart Airline Road. Then again at the light at 2978 in Huff Smith. If the Tomball Innovation Center becomes an intermediate school, the entire Creekside community will have to funnel down that one road.
Thank you so much. Number 3, if number 4 will come down now. Let's pull it down. There you go.
Hi,
That was really loud.
my name's Melissa Perez and I live out in Kipling Oaks, which is at the far north side of the district. On Plan 1, we are zoned to go to Tomball West, and it is a minimum, no matter which way you go, a 17-mile drive, a 30-minute drive without school zones for morning traffic. Our kids deserve better than that. We understand we're at the corner of the district, but Tomball High School is where we've been zoned since I was a student here. Magnolia West, and Tomball Memorial would be closer to us than West. And the kids will not be able to do before-school activities, after-school activities, tutoring for parents that have more than one student. By the time we get our kids to the high school, would not be able to get our other kids ready for school, our youngers. There has to be a better way. We need to make sure that no student has to travel more than 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes to a school. 30 minutes without traffic is not reasonable.
Thank you so much. Number 4.
Thank you, everyone involved in our efforts to do this. I live at the southernmost tip of the district, near 249 and Jones in Lakewood Forest. I have 4 children in 3 different Tomball schools, including Tomball Memorial, North Point Intermediate, and Lakewood Elementary. We love and appreciate the many extracurricular opportunities we have. This year, we drive children to school early and pick them up late to participate in marching band, environmental club, robotics, choir, 2 UIL events, and tutoring, and in the spring, add track practice. On any given day, this requires creative use of all forms of transportation, including participating in a neighborhood carpool, riding the school bus, both parents as drivers, and my student driver who drives herself. We are most concerned about the impact of Plan 2 on our family and neighborhood should it be chosen. Plan 2 doubles the drive time to school for us and would significantly impact our ability to participate in extracurricular activities and be involved on campus. Imagine leaving at 6 a.m. to take my child to a band sectional and not returning home until 7 a.m. I would have missed getting the next 2 children either onto the bus or driving them to school on time. Which of our children should we pick to not participate in extracurriculars because the driving isn't possible? Please also consider how long a child would have to ride the bus on a bus route to get from Louetta and Jones through neighborhood stops to the West Campus, a 30-minute drive for a car. Also consider the okay.
Thank you so much. Number 5.
Hello. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us this evening. I am here as a concerned parent of Lakes at North Point, Enclave, and South Tomball. I'm actually speaking on behalf of every parent here. We are not in favor of the current rezoning option. I urge you to consider the drive times from South Tomball to the new campus. Studies have proven that long commute times affect children and their academic levels and socialization skills. As a school district, it is partially your responsibility to ensure our children have the best opportunities to succeed. The other responsibility falls on the parents' guardians. We are upholding our responsibility to our children by advocating to them to have schools accessible to them with decent driving times. At no point in a district the size of Tomball should any child spend 60+ minutes on a bus each way to receive an education. Please review the zoning maps and see that the current map layouts do not align with the true passable thoroughfare roads. Please keep South Tomball in the current zoning of Lakewood, Wildwood Elementary, North Point Intermediate, Wildwood Junior High, and Tomball Memorial. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Number 6.
Hi, my name is Amanda Brodegum, and I'm here on behalf of the Lakes at North Point and the Enclave neighborhood. Thank you for giving the community an opportunity to express our concerns. With regards to our neighborhood, all plans seem to contradict the district's goals. Either the travel time to all schools K through 12 being over 25 minutes via map, or we are split between mascots. When the number of our neighborhood minimally affects the school population and we don't have to be rezoned, which is a goal of the district as well. Again, our population at the Lakes at North Point and the Enclave does not statistics and a cost standpoint. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 7.
Hello. It's really loud. My name is Vanessa Urango, and I am a resident of Lakewood Grove community. I have 3 children currently in 5th, 3rd, and kindergarten, and I am also a full-time working parent. When I look at the rezoning of our community that's in option 2, all I see is a logistics nightmare for the families in our community. We are facing an average one-way 30-minute or longer commute to each school. This is currently a maximum of 15-minute commute. For my family, and for many others, extracurriculars are important. Starting in the 2025-26 academic year, I will have 3 children in 3 different schools for 4 years. When I think about trying to put them in extracurricular activities before and after schools, there is no scenario that works for me, which means we would have to forego extracurricular activities to accommodate a working parent. I think that is a great loss to my family. I think it's a great loss to all families, and I think it's a great loss to the district to limit the accessibility of kids to extracurricular activities. I understand that there are no perfect solutions in this rezoning. In each scenario, someone gets a longer commute or pulled away from a school or schools that they love. However,
Thank you so very much. Number 8.
My name is Christian Hurley, and I'm here on behalf of Lakewood Grove community. I'd like to start off to say thank you for letting us voice our concerns and your continued support in the district. Under Plan 2, Lakewood Grove will be expected to spend more money, time, and resources to get their children to and from school. Under Plan 2, the rezoning for intermediate, junior high, and high school would entail one-way commutes to 20 and 30 minutes without traffic, incurring annual expenses of almost $2,000 for gas and tolls. I have all the charts and details and everything broken up and calculated within these documents. Not only will Plan 2 impact our commute time, quality of life, but it will also diminish our property values. There are a few case studies here included that show the calculation that equates to Lakewood Grove homeowners losing an average of 19.2% of their home value, which is roughly about $73,000. Including the FFA program, parents who have their children participating in this program are driving their kids to and from school 7 days a week to take care of the animals. Well, that's quick. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 9.
Hi, my name is Jody Wolf. I live in the southern half of Villages of North Point, and I have for 8 years. I have 2 kids in elementary currently, kindergarten and first grade. We encourage you to choose Plan 1 is the only option that doesn't split our neighborhood in half. There are only 73 kids from our section, most of who can walk and ride bikes to school, and most of them do. Because the distance from my front door to Canyon Point is less than 800 steps. And for you to choose not the first, not the second closest elementary, but the third closest elementary to our school by rezoning the bottom half of our neighborhood, you're allowing, or not allowing kids to be able to walk and bike to school anymore. They're gonna either have to have car riders, which is gonna cause traffic and congestion, and a bus driver shortage. More kids are gonna have to take buses. The current forecast up until 2030, Canyon Point does not even reach capacity, so rezoning anybody east of Shaw in the established neighborhoods doesn't make any sense because everybody is gonna have longer commutes. You're splitting neighborhoods and communities in half.
Thank you. Number 10.
Hi, I'm Laura Kershaw, and I also come to you today on behalf of Villages of North Point community. We have concerns about the plans regarding our neighborhood, and I would like to make 2 key points. First of all, no plan should be splitting any neighborhoods to different schools unless one neighborhood is so big that it specifically has its own designated multiple schools. Furthermore, we consider it logistically illogical that the south side of our neighborhood, while being split off from our community, is having the elementary students moved miles down the road when, as Jody's just said, we can see Canyon Point from our front door. This does not sound like a big deal to some, but as many have said, this for multi-child families affects what people can juggle in terms of extracurriculars. Furthermore, for people who don't have family support here, if we have an emergency and the bus hours don't work for our child and our emergency affects our transportation plan, our children can no longer walk with our wonderful community of neighbors and friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 11.
Hi, my name is Caroline Lund, and I'm representing the south side of the district. I never knew how important a school community could be until when in 2022, we received the devastating diagnosis of cancer for my 8-year-old daughter. Not only did my daughter's teachers and the families of her school friends at Lakewood show us an overwhelming amount of love and support, but teachers from North Point and Willowwood did as well. We were a family. This sense of community cannot be fostered when areas on two completely different sides of the district are thrown together. Community is lost because their only commonality is school, as our families' time will be spent on the road rather than volunteering, subbing, or participating in extracurricular activities. If Plan 2 is chosen, Tomball ISD no longer becomes a destination for those of us in the South, but a disaster.
Thank you. Number 12.
Hi, good evening. Tonight I'm here talking from the point of view as a mom, but also as a teacher for many years who has as a priority children's well-being. I want to assume that we all have the Tomball ISD students' best interest in mind. When I think about their well-being, I refer to them as a whole, their cognitive, psychological, and emotional well-being. Through this rezoning project, many children will be forced to make longer commutes. Studies and data supported by the U.S. Department of Education show that longer school commutes negatively influence time spent on important health-promoting activities, including sleep, exercise, extracurricular activities, and leisure activities. This is not just for the children who walk and bike to school, but in general to all the children who will now take much longer to get to school. Each additional minute of commuting is associated with an even greater 1.3 minutes reduction in sleep. This is disturbing as research shows that limited sleep and exercise affect children's physical and mental health. So with this, I really invite everyone to make the decision thinking of children's well-being.
Thank you. Number 13.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to voice our concerns. I represent the neighborhood, the Lakes at North Point, and the Enclave. I am also a school administrator in Cypress Fairbanks ISD, so I'm looking through these options, these rezoning options, through the lens of a school administrator and a parent. As an administrator, research shows that students who have to travel longer distance to school experience poor attendance, higher dropout rates, and lower academic performance. Lower attendance and student performance directly impact school ratings and funding, and we know that's a big deal. As a parent, I'm trying to wrap my head around how my special education student will deal with the longer minutes travel on the bus. I also am concerned with the safety implications that arise when students spend more time on the bus. Our neighborhood is not in favor of any option that takes us out of our current feeder pattern. Again, thank you for letting us speak and voice our concerns.
Thank you. Number 14.
Hi, my name is Simona Iva, and I live at the Enclave of Hidden Lakes. Our enclave consists of about 50 homes, which not all of them have students that go to Tomball ISD. Our enclave has one street that exits and enters our area, and it's right in front of Oakcrest. My son rides his bike to school. My son will be riding his bike to Tomball Memorial High School. There is no reason to change the zoning of the Enclave of Hidden Lakes. Regardless of which, I'm hoping you guys will create a new map that you will change, or that you will allow each home within 1 or 2 mile radius of that school to be zoned to that school, because it doesn't make any sense for us who are 2 minutes away from Memorial High or Wildwood to go to any other school. I'm really hoping you'll take this into consideration because it's really a big deal. There are other options out there for schooling. I love Tomball ISD, but for example, my daughter, I took her out of Tomball ISD and put her in iSchool. So there are other options. There's no way that I'm going to take my son anywhere other than Tomball Memorial or Wildwood or Oakcrest. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 15.
Hello, and thank you for your time. My name is Shay, and I have been a resident of Lakes of North Point for 11 years, the last 6 of which I have been in one of the enclave subsections, which are towards the back of the neighborhood. Contrary to the maps and the suggested plans, we are one neighborhood. We are one HOA and only have shared access via Spring Cypress, which is in the front of the neighborhood. We come to you united in concern over the redistricting plans provided. All 3 plans move our neighborhood into school zones that dramatically increase our children's commutes, both in distance and time. While we fully acknowledge the challenges of rezoning and adjusting for the growth of our district, we are hopeful that proximity can remain a guiding principle. Under the proposed plans, our children face a 110% increase in travel distance and up to a 300% increase in commute time. We've all shared the same studies with the interest of our children in mind. As I mentioned before, our neighborhood lacks alternate exits contrary to the maps and the suggested plans. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 16.
Good evening. I live in Copper Bend, and my daughter is a kindergartner at Wildwood, and I would like for her to continue her education there. We understand that Tomball ISD is a growing district and rezoning is inevitable. Proximity to the school was the #1 reported concern by parents. One of these plans has our 6-year-old daughter commuting 17 minutes potentially on highways. Stability in their educational environment is crucial for their academic and emotional well-being. Disrupting established routines and friendships may hinder their learning experiences. Rezoning presents unique challenges for older students. Moving them into a different elementary school disrupts established peers relationships and academic routines. Also, let's not overlook the youngest members of the community, one being my daughter. The impact of rezoning on them is substantial. Consider the impact on parents who may face increased commute times due to rezoning. Longer jobs not only consume valuable time, but also lead to fatigue, affecting a parent's ability to actively engage in their children's education. Let's prioritize the stability and overall well-being of our children by carefully considering the implications of rezoning. That said, we in the Copper Bend community hope we can move forward with Plan C, keeping our kids at Wildwood Elementary.
Thank you so much. Number 17.
Hello, I'm a resident of Copper Bend at Indian Trails, and prior to that was a resident of Village of Indian Trails, a total of 15 years. When we chose to move to Copper Bend, the primary reason was to stick to the same exemplary schools. Our 2 older kids were rezoned 4 times already. I hope there is not a 5th time. Firstly, we put a lot of time, effort, money into booster clubs at the high school, so when rezoning happens, all these benefits are lost to incoming siblings. Secondly, new schools take time to establish teaching and support staff for advanced placement courses. It takes several years to begin participating in UIL competitions and at the state level. An example, it took several years for TMHs to start providing AP courses like AP Human Geography. This only was offered 2 to 3 years ago. Other examples are AP Anatomy and AP Physiology. These are just some examples. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Number 18.
Hello, my name is Amanda, a mother of 3 and a representative from the Lakes and North Point Enclave community in the South Tomball area. We are not in favor of the current rezoning proposal and ask that you remain our neighborhood in the current rezoning process. Tomball prides itself in being destination excellence. Excellence can only be achieved when we create an environment that supports our students' academic and physical performance. Numerous evidence-based studies show that the earlier start times for children, which for our community moves us from 7 minutes to an hour and a half commute when we go to the West Campus, when you look at pickup times and drop-offs. These all have negative consequences on our students: decreased performance, lower academic achievement, increased tardiness and absences, which is decrease in money for the schools, increased dropout rates. We generally want to embrace our mission statement as Tomball. We should be looking at every possibility to allow our students the environment to thrive and be successful. The adults in this room are responsible for making this rezone successful, which helps reduce the capacity and keep our children in their destination. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 19.
My name is Amanda Moss from Hayden Lakes. Everyone likes numbers, so I brought some of my own to share with you. 1.25 is the difference in hours per day attributable to school between my son and daughter due to the long commute to Grand Oaks versus my daughter's walk to Oakcrest, which amounts to 7.5 hours per week or 8.85 full unnecessary days per year. We are fortunate to live in an area where walking and biking are an option for 3 out of 4 school levels. Unfortunately, despite living 0.8, 0.7, and 0.4 miles from the nearest schools, Hayden Lakes is constantly considered for rezoning at greater and greater distances. Not all communities in the district are so well positioned and won't have access to these opportunities regardless of the decision made. Adding 10 minutes to an unavoidable bus route has significantly less demanding results, 1.6 hours per week versus 7.5. The math speaks for itself. The thought exchange indicated that proximity is the priority for stakeholders in the district, just proximity, not proximity with the exception of Hayden Lakes. Please consider this when decisions are made. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Number 20.
My family and I live in Villages of Indian Trails. We're a small neighborhood that is east side of Grant. We have a lot of scenarios where a lot of kids went to different schools, but I have two in particular. A family with 2 kids started out at Willow Creek, rezoned to Lakewood, then rezoned again to Wildwood. Then they attended Willowwood for 7th, rezoned to Grand Lakes for 8th, and now we're getting rezoned again, the elementary, intermediate, and high school. For my family, we went from Lakewood to Wildwood, Wildwood to Grand Lakes, and now Tomball Memorial to West. It seems each time Tomball gets a new school, our neighborhood gets rezoned. Lastly, I understand most neighborhoods live close to their schools now, but it would be more sense to rezone neighborhoods that are going to be closer to the newer rezoned schools versus rezoning neighborhoods further away from the newer rezoned schools. My suggestion is that you all on the board get on a bus that may or may not have a seatbelt, may or may not have a good working AC, and start one neighborhood and ride each bus stop AM and PM drop-off, car riders, after-school pickup.
Thank you so much. Number 21.
Hi, my name is Arya Krier. My second time, I just had to come another time. My kids are with me, so you actually see the faces. I represent the Villages of North Point. I have some friends here. Plan 1 works for us best, but really I would implore you to look at all the 3 plans because obviously none of the plans work for any of us. You are uprooting us, giving us stress. The primary 3 things that you have to consider that you haven't obviously considered are once again proximity, safety, and cost. Many people have done their homework. They actually had dollars and everything. Please study those because to me, and I speak for the most of us here, I believe, you are not looking at us as families with kids and our routines. You're looking at us as numbers. I don't think you have done your homework on the capacity, current capacity, or the projected capacity. I don't believe you have met with the city to look at what their future plans are around the new schools. Tomball is developing so much. There's so many new communities being built that you will have enough. So you just need to look at us as families.
Thank you so much. Number 22.
Dear committee and everyone, good evening. My name is Xiao Yuwen, a parent from Oakcrest at Wildwood. I have concerns about rezoning due to the following issues. Number 1, proximity. I currently live in the nearest surroundings of Memorial High, within walking distance, about 1.5 miles. But after rezoning, it will become a farthest corner from the new school. Second one is fairness. I understand a desired plan covers distant communities, but it is not fair if it excludes considering even nearer neighborhoods within walking distance. The third is house value. We bought a house considering the proximity and the safety of children because it is within walking distance. But if it rezoned, the home value may be depreciated. Not even mention the other reasons. For example, friends separation and convenience issues. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Number 23.
Hi, my name is Danielle. I'm from the Villaggio Lakewood area, and I'm here to do some scientific studies, which I think a lot of other people already did. But for every minute an increased commute, you're looking at a 1.3-minute reduction in sleep, which means kiddos that have a 15-minute longer commute, they're going to be sleeping 20 minutes less on average. That's just for 15 minutes. Our current bus route in Villaggio for the intermediate and high school, and this is for a 3.8 to 4.1 mile commute, it already takes 45 to 50 minutes in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. Plan 2 wants us to drive 12 miles to the West Campus. I can only imagine what that bus commute is going to look like for our kiddos and how early they're going to have to get up. Less sleep leads to behavioral issues, reduction of academic achievement. Another study, Liu and Tweeten, discovered that for every hour on the bus, achievement scores were reduced by 2.6 points, which means our kiddos are already going to be behind by 5.2 points on average. That's a difference between A and a B, top 10% or not, and getting into the schools that they want. Extracurricular activities lead to cardiovascular endurance and childhood obesity.
Thank you so much. Number 24.
My name is Laura Alexander, and I'm a Creekview mom. I wanted to start out by saying thank you to Dr. Z and the admin for being here tonight. I really hope that you are not only listening, but using what you hear to make better decisions based on what your families here want. So here's my beg. At the last listening tour on the west side, almost every single person who was there urged the district to keep our kids close. Several from outside the area talked about dangerous two-lane roads, not having kids on a bus for over 30 minutes, and many more issues that are all the same issues we face in Creekside. Until the details of the intermediate number 5 are finalized, why don't we pause and leave Creekside alone? Because we were just rezoned last year. We are one district, and these zoning plans do not work for all of us. I think it would be wise for us to wipe these maps clean, start fresh. The growth in our district has caused us to just add an additional subdivision at random to each school zone, and these boundaries no longer make sense. Don't look at who is where now. Stop the rezone and just zone these families to their closest school. Zone for the future.
Thank you. Number 25.
Hi, this is Sandeep from Copper Bend at Indian Trails. Me, along with many others in my community, we moved to this community because of the proximity to the schools. And now with this rezoning, it's going to affect my kid because he needs a lot of motivation to go to school. But if with this rezoning, he has to spend a lot of time commuting to and from school. And with this, I'm concerned about his safety. And also with this rezoning, it's going to affect the property values as well. If we are continuing with this rezoning, then we have to move out of this community, and we have to, bear the loss if you're moving out of this community, because the main selling factor was the schools, the proximity to the school. Please consider with whatever zones we are assigned to right now.
Thank you, sir. Number 25. 26, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Melissa Banzer, and I'm a resident of Wildwood at Oakcrest. This concern is regarding the impact to all incoming 10th grade student athletes for the proposed opening of Tomball West High School in 2026-27 school year. When a new high school opens in an even year, such as 2026, it's considered the first year of a UIL realignment and reclassification. The realignment and reclassifications for UIL happen every 2 years. If Tomball West opens with only 9th and 10th graders in 2026, the school will not be eligible to classify and include varsity level team sports until 2028. 10th graders in 2026 would not have the opportunity to compete at the varsity level team sports until their senior year in 2028. This is a disservice to those rezoned away from Tomball High School and Tomball Memorial High School in 10th grade because it limits their opportunity to compete in varsity level team sports. An exception or an accommodation is requested for those students who could be able to compete at a higher level than what West could provide.
Thank you. Number 27.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Barreto Messer. I have a child at Rose Hill Elementary. I firstly want to thank you for the opportunity. As parents, we have to voice our opinions. I know a lot of other districts don't do that, and I hope we aren't taken for granted. My main concern is the financial implications to our campus based off of the proposed boundaries of all the plans, but specifically 2 and 3. Having sifted through the data, Rose Hill Elementary stands to lose around 37% of its current parent involvement in PTO. We are allowed 2 fundraisers annually, and with Plan 2 and 3, our fall fundraising events would lose about 40% of their fundraising families. As you may know, Rose Hill is one of the district's Title I campuses where fundraising and volunteering efforts are already very challenging. My concerns stem from seeing these types of boundary changes in other districts and the inevitable dividing schools into those that are more or less desirable based on financial status. In my opinion, one of the most admirable traits of our district is the widespread commitment to excellence at every campus in every program. My hesitation is that these boundary proposals, thank you.
Thank you very much. Number 28.
Implore the committee to not only consider bird's eye distance, but actual transportation infrastructure-driven durations. While I don't take exception to Creekside having an intermediate, the location Creekside is being zoned to is going to snarl the already clogged single connecting thoroughfare of Huff Smith Road with its 2 lanes and 3-way stop sign that backs up for miles at a time. While this problem already exists for the high school kids, they can transport themselves, but intermediate students will put hundreds of additional cars through that road 4 times a day at peak hours, leading to late arrivals and late pickups, even further exacerbated for parents who have kids which will inevitably be at the intermediate one pickup, but one of the Creekside schools at another pickup. I implore you to please work with the county and township to address either the road infrastructure or the intermediate location prior to transitioning Creekside to the intermediate.
Thank you, sir. Number 29.
Good afternoon. My name is Lana Geyer, living in Decker Prairie since 1997. We became mom and dad to our grandson in 2010. Living across the street from Decker Prairie Elementary School was a blessing beyond words. Keeping students and families within a close radius of the school students attend is most beneficial to the student and to the families. Less time on already heavily congested highways allow better opportunities for before and after school activities, more time at home, homework, family, and sleep. Living within a reasonable radius of the school allows students and parents to be more involved. I drove to Tomball West Saturday after lunch. It was a 30-minute drive. I'm within 7 minutes of Tomball Junior High and Senior High, and we are very grateful to have lived within a radius of Tomball ISD schools, easily allowing more involvement of our students and us. Volunteering, watchdog, homeroom moms, book fairs, baking cookies in my own oven for the teachers across the street per Dr. Oh, that was it. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 30.
Hello, I'm James Prescott, a parent from the Lakewood Elementary area. Some of my points have been made, so I first want to ask if the impact of higher interest rates on construction have been factored into our growth models. Do we still need a new high school as quickly as previously anticipated? And if so, do we have to have 3 high schools with the same enrollment? Or can West open and fill as growth in the area continues instead of busing kids from across town? I'll remind everyone that Google Maps is not accurate. From Lakewood to West is a 22-minute drive in Maps. It's a 36-minute drive by car now. Before rezoning increases traffic, by bus it'd be well over an hour. I was bused an hour growing up past my local high school to a school on the far side of town. I saw it impact extracurricular activities, parents' involvement in the school. Those eventually impact student performance. I'd ask you not to do the same thing with Plan 2 to our students now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Number 31.
Good evening. We live in Copper Bend at Indian Trails. No plans invoke a healthy school-home life, and none should be considered. I have a special needs student with an intellectual deficiency, speech delay, and requires hearing aids. How are children with special needs being considered for the rezone process? Are you going to take them away from a school with a proven history and put them into a brand new environment and hopefully have the tools and resources needed on day one? Or is my child going to show up to this brand new elementary that millions of dollars were poured into without the tools and resources needed to help my child become successful? How am I, as a parent, supposed to put faith in you as a school board to look out for my child's needs when you haven't even considered basic math of how I'm supposed to get both of my children to school at the same time? It takes 8 minutes to get to Oakcrest, including traffic. It will take us 24 minutes to get to West Intermediate without any traffic, and 33% increased drive time. There are 40 minutes between the last first bus of elementary and the first bell at intermediate, a 48-minute round trip. My child will be late to school every single day in Plan 3. Why are there no plans that keep us at Wildwood, Oakcrest, Northwest, and Tomball Memorial all within 5 miles?
Thank you. Number 32.
Hi, my name is Peggy Wignall. I live in the south side of the district in the Lakewood attendance zone. I strongly am against Plan 2, not just because it's inconvenient or because I don't like change. It's because of the proximity and the hardship it'll put on my family and other families in our zone. All of the plans probably do affect some proximity for some people, but Plan 2 specifically has the largest increase in distances for our children to travel. It takes us from the southeast side to the northwest side, and that doesn't make sense to me. Proximity was already established in the thought exchange that it affects the following: safety, better commute times, cost, quality of life, parent involvement, student involvement in extracurricular activities, and a strong sense of community. Plan 2, in my belief, disenfranchises our community, it divides our children, and it marginalizes a complete zone in the district. I hope that Plan 2 can just be stricken from an option altogether. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 33.
My neighborhood is supportive of Plan 3 for us. However, everyone who can walk or bike less than 1 mile and has sidewalks to do so should be zoned to that school. This point hasn't been made, but that takes more cars off the roads and out of the pickup line, which benefits everyone. I'm also concerned about the current Creekside plan as a taxpayer because it looks like we're moving 6th graders from Creekside Park Junior High, which would drop enrollment to the 800 to 900 range, for a building that was designed for 1,500, will leave it underutilized. It cost $36 million to build and was only opened 7 years ago, so a 60% capacity is a mismanagement of assets. Why not build a dual language campus at Innovation Center? That would be a win-win solution for multiple different groups here. Have you done a serious analysis of that idea? Please be transparent. Wait a year on the high school boundaries. Get another year of data. Finally, this meeting was scheduled for 2 hours, so you could have easily given everyone 2 minutes to speak.
Thank you. Number 34, please.
Hey, good evening. My name's George Duckworth. I'm representing Canterbury Forest in the south side of the district. I think we've had a lot of great ideas, a lot of feedback, even from last week. The sentiment and the symptom of the problem is that there's maybe a fundamental misunderstanding about this rezoning. Maybe it's misallocation, miscalculation, demographic growth, and potential expansion. But I think there's also the impact on our kids and then the asset base itself. So you're now putting more buses on the road for extended periods of time. Maintenance, overhaul, that foundational expenditure from an operating perspective is something that we then as an indirect cost will fund more with our tax dollars, which may be deteriorated because now we're being rezoned to the other side of the district. Our property taxes will continue to rise despite the fact that the value in the home itself will drop. I'd also kind of petition that these plans don't work for all. If we're really going to be a destination, then we need to be accommodating of the benefit of all. I don't think there's any one way to do it, but I'm looking at the next 18 years of 3 different kids going through this, and I'd really appreciate any and all support.
Thank you so much. Number 35.
Good evening. I live in the enclave at Hidden Lake, right next to Tomball Memorial High School, just 0.4 miles away. It takes 4 minutes bike ride for my son to reach Tomball Memorial High School. When we bought our house a few years ago, we chose this location for the convenience of walking to school. Among the 3 plans, only plan 2 allows us to stay at the high school 0.5 miles away. We hope the school district consider keeping our community to Tomball Memorial High School. The high school drop-off time is 6:45 a.m. If kids living near the school get rezoned to the farthest one, it means each child would spend extra 1.5 hours to 2 hours to get and from the school, compared to 4 minutes bike ride to school, adding additional hours to their daily travel time. This isn't good for their grades, their health, and their safety. We have special needs kids in our community. It's very important for the kids with special needs to attend school close to the home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Number 36.
Good evening. How was your drive here? Ours was awful. Parents chose Tomball ISD. Actually, sorry, on your website you state parents chose Tomball ISD because of the district's unwavering commitment to high student achievement characterized by quality instruction, equality of opportunities and resources, demonstrated results, strong parental involvement, and community support. That's on your website. Your current zoning plans don't achieve any of this. They create congestion and chaos. By excessively busing students, you are denying our kids equality of opportunity and resources. Numerous studies have proven that longer commutes affect the quality of learning. They create behavioral issues. By having longer commutes, you deny students access to before and after school activities. Don't deny our resources. When you put children further from their homes than necessary, you make parental involvement more difficult. You don't have community support. Community means all of Tomball. When your maps divide communities and send children past the schools they are not physically closer to them, you are removing them from their friends and their family.
Thank you. Number 37.
Like many parents here, I'm concerned about proximity to schools. My neighborhood, Spring Creek Estates, is 1.5 miles from Tomball Elementary, Intermediate, Junior High, and High School, yet we would be zoned to Rose Hill and the West Schools, which is about 5 times as far. I would ask that any student who can ride a bike or walk to school, remain at that school. Every school should have a radius around it, and those neighborhoods should go to that school, especially when the west side of the district builds up and we would likely be rezoned back to the schools that we were already in. And personally, I'm concerned about in 2027, when I have a senior, a junior, and a freshman, are they all going to be at different schools, or are they going to be at the same high school? Thank you.
Thank you so much. 38.
Hi, I'm here to respectfully and humbly ask you to stop all funding and planning for intermediate number 5 at TIC. It is not a feasible option for any students that would attend this location, as well as not provide any benefit to Tomball ISD as a whole. A 10-year-old should never, ever be on a bus for an hour one way when they can currently attend their school 1 to 2 miles from their house. Busing will only prevent any possibility of being part of any before or after school clubs or activities. Additionally, as most people have stated, research shows that the longer the commute, the higher the anxiety and stress, and the higher the lost sleep increases. And more importantly, the study shows that the commutes harm academic performance in addition to having less time to study. This is a no-win situation for the students, and it will negatively affect the academic standing of Tomball ISD, which will then be damaging to every teacher, student, and homeowner within the TISD boundaries. So I implore Tomball ISD leadership to make the best decision for all of Tomball ISD. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Number 39.
Hello, I am with the Lakes at North Point and the Enclavette in the neighborhood, and we have been rezoned multiple times since I moved in 2008. This would be, since I've been there, our 3rd rezone, including splitting our neighborhood in half. That is not ideal. It's not something that we want. One of my biggest concerns is the distance that the children will be asked to travel on a bus. I, as an educator, have been a bus buddy before on a bus, and children unsupervised with only one adult on the bus that is responsible for driving the bus is not responsible. Having them for that amount of time where they are left to their own devices is crazy. So if you have a short amount of time, we can manage, but an hour, those students may potentially cause harm to themselves or others when they're unsupervised with somebody that's supposed to be driving and looking at the road. I'm also personally concerned because I have a daughter that will be a sophomore when the campus at West opens. She's an athlete, and we leave already at 5:30 in the morning for a short commute.
Thank you so much. Number 40.
Good evening, and thanks for the opportunity. I'm representing Copper Bend at Indian Trials. I'm going to talk about the Plan 3. So moving us to Plan 3 will keep us students in increase of the transit. So this will make our kids to travel like 2 to 3 hours in a day in the bus, which will result in like 10 hours per week, and then might be like 40 hours in a month. So which is a very problem for us. And not only this exhausted traveling in a bus will keep them like lack of sleep and lack of growth. And again, it could be like a physical or mental. It's not only impact the student, but it's going to impact the Tomball ISD at the end. And then the other one we are concerned is safety. Having a kid traveling in a bus on the busy roads, it's going to put us like a safety concern. And during summer times, as we already know, the temperatures are hitting 101, 102. It's going to be a risk for them at the time as well. The recent incident that happened around Oakcrest, like when there was some kid going around the road with a gun. So we were so worried. So I was able to go there, hug my son, and to see safety for him.
Thank you, sir. Number 41.
Hi, I'm a concerned parent from the Creekside area. As I was going through all the data, we've had a lot of people talk through all the times it takes to get everywhere. And I just couldn't help but be caught up by some of the ironies around some of this process. The irony that it took me 40 minutes to drive 20 minutes here. The irony that you use an icon of a parent walking a child to depict your elementary schools on your own website, yet that's what you want to take away from us. The irony that this listening tour is meant to offer us a voice while simultaneously taking away a two-way dialogue which we seek. The irony that this listening tour is often pushed as a tool to leaders for building trust, yet you continue to lose ours every day that we have to go through this. And the irony that a district that frankly relies heavily on support from parents is asking us to do more.
Thank you, sir. Number 42.
Good evening. I'm a mom of 3. My children attend Creekview Elementary. We have biked to school every day since pre-K. In fact, any child who attends any of the 3 Creekside Elementaries has this ability. It's a rare commodity, and I think that we should be working to preserve it, not destroy it. My daughter attends choir an hour early before school and participates in programs such as Destination Imagination after school. The only reason she's able to do so is because we live close and she can bike. It will be impossible for children of Tomball to participate in after-school activities if we spend hours commuting. I would like to urge the district to prioritize proximity to school when planning attendance zones for all Tomball subdivisions. There are obvious flaws in zoning, and clearly it's district-wide. For instance, some students who attend Grand Lakes and are zoned 15 miles away to Tomball High, when Memorial High is only 5 miles away, and this is even more ironic when West Campus is literally being built in their backyard. Please keep the children of Tomball close to their homes and close to their families.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Number 43.
Yes, Dustin O'Neill, father of 3, resident of Lakewood Grove on the south side of the district. I have a lot of reasons here why Plan Number 2 is absolutely ridiculous. I don't need to give you that, so I'm going to put that away and tell you 2 words: do better. If I bought a piece of property on the wrong side of town that didn't serve my constituents, I'd be fired. If I put 3 plans out that were this terrible, I'd be fired. If I didn't listen to my constituents and I didn't allow taxpayers that don't have students to participate in this forum, I'd be fired. Do better.
Thank you so much, sir. Number 44.
Hi, Trey Adams, representing Copper Bend at Indian Trails. We recently moved here, I guess it's been about a year and a half now. We moved here from California, and our children's education was the greatest and utmost importance. We were looking for a home, but in doing so, first we went to look at the schools that were in the area. Tomball is definitely a destination, so we decided to buy a home. We had never heard of rezoning. It sounded very Californian to me. So now that we're here, we're wondering why would you ever move kids away from the nearest school? That doesn't make sense. At no point should my wife and I have a shorter commute to work than my daughters do to school.
Thank you, sir. Number 45.
Hello, good evening. So I'm going to kind of jump on the bandwagon of everyone else. Why aren't you considering best utilization of our local neighborhood schools? I mean, we should not be commuting our kids' hours. So I'm in Hayden Lakes. My current high school is Memorial. I'm 1.5 miles from it currently, and you're trying to put us in a high school at West that'll be 8 miles away. So this is going to cause our teens from our area to have to take 99, which is a huge safety concern, tons of accidents, and lots of liability for the district. And we don't have the infrastructure to support the additional traffic on those roads. There's no backways, and the current roads are very backed up all the time already, and you're going to add more and more and more traffic to that. This is the 3rd time that Hayden Lakes will be rezoned in the last 4 years, so similar to some of these other folks. Why do we keep rezoning? Why can't you get it right? And in our neighborhood, there's only about 325 kids split across 13 grades. So
Thank you so much. Number 46. Number 46, if you'll check your number. 47. Number 47. Number 48. 48. Number 49. 49. Feel like a bingo, right? Number 50. 50? No? Number 51. Number 52. Thank you so much for all of your comments this evening. We appreciate you coming out and know that we will continue to work on what is best for the entire Tomball ISD district. Thank you very, very much. We very much appreciate your input and your time. Thank you. Drive safely.